Shalom, shalom. It's your man, Prince Moshe. Your hustles with the mostest. Hey, look. Have y'all ever went and seen, or have you ever seen the movie Lost Boys? I think it's called The Lost Boys. Anyway, I'm gonna give you a sidebar of the movie. Um, these lost boys, they were actually vampires. But the way the story goes is this guy, his mother and his brother, they moved to this little town, right? You know what I'm saying? It was just a small town. You know, I forgot the dude name played in it. I can't think of his name right off the top. Corey. He played in the Goonies too. And they believed that it was vampires in that little town, and it actually was. Like the head dude was like a big lawyer, corporate type dude. He ended up dating the little dude and his brother who moved to town, right? So his brother, though, his older brother, got involved with the Lost Boys. Now, these Lost Boys, they used to ride mopeds. You could actually say motorcycles too, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, they rode mopeds. And so the Most High, you know, basically was giving me revelations of that movie. Because, you know, a lot of the things that they show you in the movies. And a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, the things that they used to show us when we was growing up, like the witch riding the broom. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doubting that they can't do that. Those are the real ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just like in Blade, you know, you had the vampires, and then you had what was his name? I can't think of the little flunky name. You know what I'm saying? But he ended up unaliving all of the bosses and taking their powers. You know what I'm saying? And becoming basically like a full-blood vampire. He was just, you know what I'm saying, a flunky at first. He used to run the blood banks and stuff like that. But anyway, the Lost Boys were vampires, though. You know what I'm saying? But they rode motorcycles. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High began to let me know that, you know, the vampires and all those things like that, they one and the same. The witches and the warlocks and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They all the same. And so what they tend to do is, you know, like you'll hear them riding on the highway. You know what I'm saying? You know, speeding up and down the highway. But what they doing is they casting spells while they riding. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, you know, back in the day, we used to have them grandparents, you know, them mothers that used to pray, you know, and lay before the Most High. And, you know what I'm saying? See, that's how a lot of the unalivings be happening. Because they use these demonic forces, you know what I'm saying, through these rituals and stuff and casting these spells and stuff that they do. They use these forces, these unseen forces, to commit crimes, to commit acts. See, that's what the Bible is saying when it say, you know, what goes on in the dark should come to the light. Because, you know what I'm saying, the darkness is something that you can't see. You can't see in the darkness. You see what I'm saying? So it has to be brought to the light so that you can know what's going on. And so that's why You know, sometimes you see a lot of unalivings out, you know what I'm saying, especially on the side of town where black folk be. Because you got individual witches and warlocks praying over those territories and praying evil upon those territories. And they send demonic forces, and those demonic forces get into people, you know what I'm saying, and commit certain acts. You know what I'm saying? So when you go look at the movie The Lost Boys, them guys that was riding the motorcycle, them is vampires. You know, what we would refer to as witches and warlocks. You see what I'm saying? You know, just like you know, in Blade, the little flunky, I can't think of his name, man. It's been a long time since I watched it. But he was a warlock, you know what I'm saying, for, you know, the people, you know what I'm saying? The people that are the big witches and the big warlocks, you know what I'm saying? It's something that's higher than them, you know what I'm saying? You know, man, like it's not easy to explain, but that's what be going on, and that's why it's important for you to pray over, you know, not just yourself, but also to pray over your equipment, to pray over your cars, you know, to pray over your house, to pray over your family, you know, to pray over everything, man, because these people, if you let them, they'll attack everything. You know what I'm saying? That's why when the devil went and seen, or when Satan went and seen the Most High and Job, because you got to get on your job. So when he went and seen Job, you know what I'm saying, he said, if you take your covering off of him, you know what I'm saying, let me touch him, I bet he curse your name. And see, that's what you got to understand. You know, when you pray, you're praying a covering over yourself, over your things, over your family, over your loved ones, over your children. Because if not, that's how wrecks be happening. That's how people get into wrecks. You know, sometimes the wrecks be so bad that they lose their life in them. Fatalities. Because you're not praying over your things. You know what I'm saying? See, you gotta give the command in order for, you know, these things to work, and that happens through prayer. You know what I'm saying? You gotta use your authority. You know what I'm saying? Cover your things with the blood. So shalom, peace and blessings.